Hello everyone, my name is Mitchell Binkley and we're going to be discussing muscular dystrophy today. I'll be talking about the different types and some different characteristics associated with muscular dystrophy. I'll also be talking about the behavioral, psychological, and some of the physical considerations that we need to take into account for individuals with muscular dystrophy. Alright everybody, we're going to be discussing muscular dystrophy today and some of the things that will go along with that. So the definition, it's a genetic progression of muscle weakness that will cause degeneration of skeletal muscles and the movement that goes along with that. Mainly caused by genetic mutations that will interfere with the proteins needed to form healthy muscle tissue. You're going to go to the link below and it's going to talk about how muscular dystrophy is diagnosed. And in the discussion forum, I just want you to give me 3 examples of the multiple examples that are listed. So there are 8 different types of muscular dystrophy, all of which we'll talk about in the next couple slides. The mother will carry the recessive gene to be passed on, which is what's very important here in the diagnosis, really. Muscular dystrophy will be caused by mutations on the X chromosome that will be passed along, and there will be different types of mutations, but all of them will prevent the body from producing dystrophin, which is the essential protein for building and repairing muscle. And this will be found mainly in males. It'll affect about 1 in every 5,000 males. It can be helped slowed through physical and occupational therapy, but there is no cure yet. So the different types of muscular dystrophy are all listed here. The first one, Duchenne and Becker muscular dystrophy. The muscle weakness will begin between ages 5 and 12. It'll affect the upper arms and legs first, and eventually will affect the brain, throat, heart, chest, and spine. Myotonic muscular dystrophy. The muscle weakness will begin between ages 10 to 30 years of age. It will affect the face, neck, arms, and hands first. Next we'll have limb girdle, which will have muscle weakness from early childhood to late adulthood, so basically through the lifespan. It will affect the shoulders and the hips first. And next we have FSH, or facioscapulohumeral muscular dystrophy. Muscle weakness occurring between the teens and the 20s, and it will affect face, shoulders, arms, and legs first, and then will progress and move to the eyes, ears, and trunk. Next we have congenital muscular dystrophy. The muscle weakness occurring from birth or early in infancy. It will affect the neck, arms, trunk, and legs, and eventually move to the brain, eyes, heart, throat, and spine. Next we have distal muscular dystrophy. The muscle weakness will occur from about late teen to adulthood, and it's going to be affecting distal or lower extremities. So your lower arms into your hands, lower legs into your feet. Next we have oculopharyngeal muscular dystrophy. This will affect both males and females. Mainly, like we talked about earlier, muscular dystrophy will only occur in males for the most part. This will affect people after the age of 40, so between 40 and 60, 65 years old. And muscle weakness will occur in the face, throat, and the neck. And then finally, with Emery-Dreifuss muscular dystrophy, the muscle weakness between will occur between 5 and 15 years of age, will affect upper arms, lower legs, and eventually the heart and spine. So for the second activity, just to see how well you're listening, which type of muscular dystrophy listed from the previous slide will not begin until at least age 40? And I'll have you respond in the discussion forum. So some initial characteristics that will occur in an individual. Will be pain and stiffness in the muscles, difficulty standing, sitting upright. They'll be frequently falling or walking on their toes because their muscles are so rigid. Waddling gait, and difficulty jumping and running. And these will progress because it is a progressive disorder. And eventually there will be an inability to walk, shortening of muscles, tendons, curvature of the spine because their muscles aren't strong enough to keep them sitting upright or keep them back. Breathing problems and weakening of muscles of the heart. So the muscles on the outer wall of the heart will end up deteriorating, just like most muscles in their body over time. And they will have difficulty swallowing as well. So some behavioral characteristics that will occur in some individuals with muscular dystrophy. Early on, pre-K through elementary, so early ages, young kids will be more impulsive than others their age. They'll lash out more, easier. They're also on strong steroid medication, and that will have a larger effect on them at a younger age with a smaller body mass. So they may have more side effects that may impact their behavior and emotions. Moving on to middle school age, they know their limitations a little more, and they're a little more aware of their condition, but they still may have some emotional outburst. And this is the transition that a lot of them will go through to where they'll have to use a wheelchair because their muscles aren't able to help them withstand walking and running and things like that anymore. And eventually it will progress. Junior and high school ages, there may be a disruption of physical development down the line, and due to some heavier medication, there may be some physical limitations that occur. They may be shorter, a puberty delay, and then assisted care will take away from their independence, so they won't be as independent as some others their age, which puts them at risk for being isolated, socially withdrawn. So you have to be aware of signs of depression. So some special considerations. There is no cure, and an individual will be taking some pretty strong medication, depending on the age. A lot of steroid use and heart medication because the walls of their heart are deteriorating. It's really important to be aware that since their heart is deteriorating, they're going to be a lot weaker. They're going to have a lot of weakness in really all their muscles because they can't pump blood out as well. You need to be aware of the medication that they're on and what you can and cannot do while they're on that medication. They will need significant break time because of they need more time and recovery for their muscles to produce the same kind of output that you can at a normal rate. And then any activity that includes really the maintaining the everyday life and quality of life that they can have. So any activities basically helping with like grip strength, moving them around, stretching out muscles, things like that, and helping them helping promote social engagement. So being around others, whether they have muscular dystrophy or not, is going to help them tremendously. So some physical activity considerations, range of motion and stretching are very important. Physical therapy, occupational therapy, just general stretches, those are going to be important every single day because their muscles are always tightening and essentially deteriorating over time. So lengthening out those muscles will help keep them mobile longer, help them with more range of motion, so that will help with them with their everyday chores and things like that. Swimming and walking be great for aerobic exercise. It's low impact. They don't feel all the weight of themselves if they're trying to stand and use their legs more and things like that. And it's also low impact on the heart while they're still getting aerobic exercise. So all the muscles are overall weaker. The heart muscles are weaker. So you have to keep that in mind when exercising. They may have a ventilator or oxygen delivery device, things of that nature that will help them breathe. And they also may have mobility aids, so canes, wheelchairs, walkers. So finding sports and things of that nature that will include those. And as well as they may have braces. And these can help keep the muscles and tendons stretched out, also give them tons of support. And it may help with the slowing of the muscles shortening over time. And these are my references. I want to thank you guys for listening, and have a good day.